Sarah, and it's WIP Wednesday, so let's see what I'm working on. It's Work in Progress Wednesday, and I wanted to show off what I've been working on because I got a lot done on 2 of my projects. I finished another project and have sent that off. But first, I wanted to use some prompts from National Crochet Month, which was back in March. There was a big follow along on Instagram that I got halfway through, and then just as I suspected, as soon as my spring break was over and I was back into the swing of things with school, it died. So as you guys already know, my name is Sarah. I am a self-taught crocheter. I taught myself when I was about 16 years old, so I've been crocheting for a little over half my life. I started crocheting all the way back in 2004. My grandmother, my mama, she had recently passed away, and she was a woman of many talents, but she also crocheted. Afghans were her main game, and I actually don't have an Afghan of hers. But after she passed away, I thought about it because there are several women in my family who quilt, and they have since coerced me into starting to quilt, and I've been working on a quilt for what feels like a million years. Maybe I'll get it done one day. But anyways, there are several women in my family who quilt, but nobody knew how to crochet. And it really bothered me that that was something that was going to be lost to our family. So while we were cleaning out her home, I did find a half-used skein of some mauve yarn and a plastic hook, no brand, size I, and I got to work. So even if YouTube was around back in 2004, this was way before there were awesome channels on here that taught you how to do these things. So my Christmas list, my birthday list, all those things, it was just buy me yarn, buy me hooks, buy me patterns. So there was a lot of trial and error. My favorite crochet book, it's a sampler Afghan, and that was one of the patterns that I had got when I was like, hey, buy me patterns. And I think it's great literally for anybody, but in particular if you want to learn how to crochet, or even if you're a seasoned crocheter but you're somebody who's learned off of videos and you want to learn how to read patterns. But what I like about it is that you learn 63 different stitches. You can make a big adult-sized Afghan out of it, almost twin size. Or you can chop it down and you can make it a lap-sized blanket. You can turn it into a scarf. You can make a million pot holders out of it. But you get to learn a lot of different stitches. It helps you kind of learn about gauging and piecing things together. And I still use it. I'm not showing my copy because it's literally the binding has fallen apart. The pages are torn. It is so well loved because even after I've made it, I've made the pattern in its entirety 3 different times. But I use it all the time for literally almost every single project because it's basically become my stitch encyclopedia at this point. My favorite hook for sentimental reasons is this plastic white hook. It's a size I, but there's no brand information on it. And this was the hook that I got from my mama's house, and it was my first crochet hook. I love that you can look really closely and still kind of see the yellow spots where her hands used to hold it. And it's just so special to me. I don't use it anymore, mostly because I'm really scared of breaking it. But practically speaking, my current favorite hook is this Susan Bates size H. There's nothing special about it. You can get it at any local craft store, but I specifically try to find projects with this size hook because I love this hook. Look at how deep the notch is on this hook. It grabs and holds onto the yarn so well. I compare it with another one, and you can see on that other hook, the notch is way more shallow. The only thing that's missing from this Susan Bates hook is an ergonomic handle. So if you know of a deep notched crochet hook like this, but it has a padded handle, let me know in the comments down below. Favorite yarn currently? One, I don't use a lot of fancy yarn, okay? I don't have that kind of budget. I don't have hand dyed yarn budget. I got Red Heart budget, okay? You know what I'm talking about. So this is it. This Simply Soft Speckle is my current favorite yarn. It lives up to the name. It is so soft, and yet it's still really affordable. And this particular colorway seashell is just so beautiful as you make something, and you'll see it a little bit later in one of the projects that I'm working on. Okay, favorite stitch, hands down, is a granny square because it's so versatile. There's so many variations on it that the possibilities are endless, okay? And I've used it in blankets, I've used them in scarves, I made a tree skirt out of granny squares, and It was so cute when it was all said and done. So one of the things that I've always wanted to learn how to do with crochet that I've never done is a Tunisian crochet. It looks so cool. I have a couple of projects that I definitely need to get done first before I can try and do something new. I don't know, maybe I'll pick it up on the side. I try not to have too many WIPs at once because then they'll just like never get done. So I really try to only have 2 WIPs at a time. We'll see what happens. Okay, so now that we've learned a little bit about me, let's actually get into my WIPs. My first WIP is this beautiful Dream Catcher blanket by Ala Koval. I'll link it down below. I'm making this for a baby. I promise that they will get it before they leave for college, okay? So this one definitely needs to get done. It's just nursing school is life and the rest is just details. And here's the blanket all spread out. This is the seashell colorway that I was talking about earlier, and I just love how this works up. It is so neutral and understated. I love that it's a baby blanket that can grow with baby and eventually turn into like a lap blanket or a throw without obviously looking like a baby blanket. I picked this pattern because I loved the woven look to it. It looks really intricate, but it's fairly simple stitches. There is a horizontal puff stitch that did take a little bit to get used to, but once you learn it, it's super easy. I'm about 2/3 of the way done with this one, and now we've got a visit from Bear Dog. It's big enough to be a baby blanket now, right? I could just put a border on it and call it a day, but it's gonna make a bigger blanket, which means that they're gonna be able to use it as a blanket for longer. Project number 2 is a temperature blanket that I'm making for my husband. It was supposed to be an anniversary present. I did not get it done before anniversary because, again, nursing school is life. The rest is just details. So for our anniversary, I just took it out of hiding and I was like, here's your unfinished anniversary present. Love you. This one is going to be a long blanket because what you see here on the table is only about 5 months out of 12 that I need to crochet. We've got another visit from Bear with Quality Control, who's sizing up the project to make sure that it's up to par. If you're unfamiliar with the concept of a temperature blanket, essentially you assign a color for a certain range of temperatures and just crochet the weather that day. I had to do some digging to get the weather from 2013 and 2014, but I'm making it work. When it's all said and done, this single crochet blanket is going to be about 9 feet long. I'm using good old-fashioned Red Heart Super Saver. That's where I'm at. Like I said, I've got that Red Heart budget. But this thing is super warm. I'm so excited. I finally got to the point where it's a blanket for me. So like I have a blanket while I finish crocheting the blanket. That is my favorite part of a blanket project. So my last project is already done, already gifted to the recipient, and she loves it. It was a baby gift. And I couldn't start it until after the baby was born because it's her name. And the baby is now like a year and a half. I'm sorry, nursing school is life, the rest is just details. And here I am a couple of days ago finishing up this project so that way it can go to its new home. As you can see, I am thriving in my quarantine aesthetic, all sweats all the time, the epitome of comfort, paired beautifully with some messy hair, don't care. At this point, I had already crocheted the name and sewn it into place, but I wanted to add it to this sign that I got from Michaels, and I wanted to make it removable so that way the parents could take the name off if they wanted to paint or stain the board to match their decor. So I hammered some nails throughout the board just as something that I could anchor the name onto while still making the crocheted part of this piece removable. These nails were way too short for my hands to hold, and what I really needed was a pair of pliers, which of course I couldn't find. But necessity is the mother of invention, and I found that my hemostats worked just as well in this case. And here we go, it's all done. This was something I saw some inspiration online, French knitting, if you're interested. And I thought I can totally do that with crochet. And then it was just really intimidating for whatever reason. And then when I finally sat down to figure it out and do it, it wasn't that bad. And I was like, after doing it, there's definitely a couple of different things that I would do the next time I make these. Yarn in particular, because my mother-in-law, when she was cleaning out her parents' home, she gifted me all of her mom's crochet and knitting things. Again, I don't knit, but I have the needles. I'm the only one who crochets in the family, so she gave them to me, which I thought was very thoughtful. And so even though there's a ton of yarn, I still end up rationing it and using it for family projects for like special occasions. So anytime there's a new baby on that side of the family or something like that, I will make something and I will utilize at least some of Grandma's yarn, and I'll use Grandma's hooks for part of it through that process, just so that way there's like a little piece of that family history in that project. So I like doing these so much, and I think they're so cute. I'm definitely going to incorporate them into my Etsy shop. Of course, I will have them available as like a custom order for a specific name or something like that. And I also need to work out some different finishing options that make it more economical, because this was just a personal project, and so I didn't mind shelling out a little bit more money for the sign that's back there, but that would not make it cost effective for customers. So we'll have to kind of figure that out a little bit. I also want to make some of these that are like ready to ship, so that way you don't have to necessarily wait for. So let me know in the comments down below, what are some generic words that you would like to see? You know, I think of like live, laugh, love, family, gather, things like that. I appreciate the help. And you can check out, I put a link down to my Etsy shop down below. It's a little sparse right now because at the time of filming this, I'm still finishing up nursing school, so I don't have any made to order stuff. I only have like whatever's ready to ship, which I think is just some face scrubbies and some mask minders. So I think that's all I got. But school will be done in 12 days. So yeah. That's everything that I'm working on right now. I'm excited to continue making these to see how my projects grow and then finish, and then new projects come into the mix. So if you like this video, let me know in the comments down below, and let me know what else you'd like to see. And also don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!